Welcome to Ideas Outlook and Beyond. Thank you very much for watching this show, and I promise you this will be an interesting show.
We are not having Teddy Consumptus on this show to talk about open space. It's got to be a good show.
Oh, it got to be a good show.
We had a good show in Brookfield the other night, though, for those who didn't watch.
Yes, it was. Yes. Well,
Riveting.
We're supposed to have the Brookfield show tonight, but however, we need time to edit the show, so we're going to show it at a later date. However, we want to discuss all that nonsense that is going on here.
We got a lot of things to discuss, though.
A lot of things, but the main issue is the nonsense that is going on here in Danbury. You know how I am. I will tell you exactly how I see it. And all the arrests that have been going on here, the arrests against the illegal immigrants, and we're here to discuss that. And the question is really, should ICE stop arresting illegal immigrants? No. And for those of you who don't know, ICE is the immigration control
enforcement.
Right, and enforcement, right. So the show is live. Please call in, and the number is 792-4101, 792-4101, because we want to hear from you. And I just want to hear from from the panel. What do you think? Do you really think that we should stop this nonsense that's going on right now?
There was a good editorial in today's Danbury News-Times. I think we can start off saying that ICE is here. Mary Connolly said they're more into showmanship than helping us get rid of a criminal element. And I think for any of the people who attended the forum on Sunday at WestCon, which was put on by Stop the Rage, so they have their bias. They're the one extreme. She wasn't scheduled to be on the panel, but Teresa Perea spoke. And if you listen to her talk about her experience, only a month ago, someone who's lived in this country for 19 years, who has a business, who owns a home, who has 2 children, who's married, who's law-abiding. She's not an Al-Qaeda terrorist. She's not a criminal in any sense of the word. This was not an appropriate ICE action. It was, and the showmanship is that they come in, they won't tell you where they're taking a family member. It's, it ought to be in movies. I mean...
Well, let's take a step outside the process for a second, Ivan. You know, do we have an illegal immigration problem in this country? Yes, sure we do. Are the borders protected? No, they're not. Are people not coming in here as much legally as they used to? Are they coming here for the right reason? Sure. But I think that the step outside of it is I think that there's not been there's not a black and white answer as to how to solve the immigration problem. I think ICE is one of the means that has been used to address it locally. Is there a better means? Probably. Is there a better means available at the fingertips of city government right now, state government? No, probably not. I don't know. We need to do something to control the illegal immigration situation in the Northeast. Obviously, Lynn's not convinced this is the way to do it, and neither is the News-Times. So I don't know, what would you propose as an alternative?
Well, I actually found the News-Time editorial pretty balanced.
It was.
You know, it said some illegal immigrants should not be allowed to stay, while others should be allowed to stay. And they did highlight the one lady's case who lived here. I don't know, is that the same lady?
Yes, the same woman. Yep.
And it's a tough call. I was thinking about this today, as you mentioned that we were going to be discussing this program, because I think there's a difference between immigration and illegal immigration. And I personally have been greatly enriched in my life by this country's open-door policy to immigrants coming over here. I mean, the Statue of Liberty sits in the New York Harbor for a reason.
Your own mother.
My own mother. My own mother immigrated here from Germany. My wife immigrated here from Canada. Ivan is originally from Haiti, and he's been
but the door isn't open wide enough to meet the economic need for labor.
Well, I'm not completely sure about that. I mean, I think if you would ask the unions, they would say that it's open plenty. And I think if you would ask some construction workers and some others that have seen their wages and benefits and so forth go down because of the flooding of the market, I would think you might get a different opinion that it is open.
It isn't.
Okay, we have a call. Can we take the call?
Sure.
Caller, you're in the air.
Lindley.
Hey, Lindley.
Hi.
Hey, my friend from Texas who is a big fan of your show, Ivan.
Texas. How you doing? You calling from Texas,
I'm good. How are y'all?
Good, good.
How's the border?
We're talking about illegal immigration.
Are you keeping an eye on it for us?
I said it's crowded.
So we just had a big illegal immigration raid here. That's why we're asking about the border. We did.
I live in Dallas, and they're all over the place up here. I'm really getting tired of people glaring at me when I tell them I don't speak Spanish.
So do you think that's a huge problem down
I
there?
figure there's a really good reason why I live in America. That's because I want to speak English. If I wanted to speak Spanish, I would move to Mexico or Spain.
Wow.
Good answer.
Yeah, so anyways, I just wanted to call and let y'all know that I love the show, and I don't get to watch it live, but I get to see it online, and I love it. So y'all keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lindley.
Y'all have a good night.
Thank you.
This show is going international because Texas is really another country altogether. Isn't it? I think we can say we've done.
It produced us 3 of the last 7 presidents, though.
Yeah, no, Texas. You know, I think
That's another reason we ought to get rid of it.
there's a separate country. Just ignore the lady in the yellow sweater. Just say she's a bit extreme.
Don't mess with Texas, seriously.
But thank you very much, okay?
Keep watching.
Have a good night. Take care.
All right.
Bye.
Goodbye.
See, the show's gone global.
But
that's great.
the point I was making
Yes.
before our Texas call was I believe there are, for instance, 700 visas available to people who want to immigrate from Mexico.
Right.
What I'm saying is not enough. I'm not saying we need 12 million visas, but the 700 certainly doesn't meet the demand.
Let me ask you the question then. They're estimated that there's somewhere between 12 and 20 million illegal immigrants in this country at this time. Those are some estimates that have been thrown. I don't know the accuracy
That's
of them.
the
Those are
same
estimates.
numbers, yeah.
Would you say that is enough? Would you say that
I think most reasonable people believe if there was no demand, the immigration would stop. So, yes, I think it's enough. I think it meets the labor demands.
See,
that
I think
have
we
in
could
this
probably
country.
agree that 700 visas is
not enough,
Is
and
not enough.
20 million is
20
probably
million-
too many.
Probably too many. And it's seriously, my office is in Portchester. And there's a huge hospital down there called the United Hospital. I believe it's the United Presbyterian Hospital in Portchester. It is a ghost town. I drive by it every day as I go to work. It is shuttered. And you see a hospital, I'm thinking to myself, what, are people stop getting sick? Why in the world would this hospital shut down? But there's such an illegal immigrant situation there that they were just overrun with unpaid bills, and they could not afford to keep the hospital open, so the hospital was shuttered. So I see real negative impacts from an overwhelming influx of illegal immigrants. That said, I think it is the absolute strength of our country that we have the opportunity to accept these people in our country and integrate them in the melting pot. It is what America is.
You know that, let me wait till they give me the, you know that American taxpayers spend about $11 per household in 2000 to foot the bill for the health care of adult illegal immigrants.
$11 per household.
Right. This is from the news time. Elizabeth Putnam looked up.
Ivan, I'll pay your $11. I hate to see you be short this year.
You're right. Hold on. Call your name.
Yes, my name is Elise Ivan.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good, thank you.
I just want to make a comment
Go ahead.
that if we take in and make these people that are here between 12 and 20 million people legal residents or legal workers, we will then have to raise their pay up and pay them on the payroll and therefore incur a larger amount of money for each individual. Then who's going to do the work that level pay will not, companies will not pay for that. In other words, the office cleaners, the house cleaners, who are getting a lower rate of pay now because it's cheap labor, when they're raised up, who's going to do the cheap labor again?
So basically what you're saying that you're in favor of having illegal immigrants to do those type of work for low pay.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we will constantly need a supply of illegal aliens to do the work that, quote, Americans don't want to do for the rate of pay. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And
yes.
that's
Always be
it's
a
historically
need for
true.
illegal aliens to come to this country because there will always be a need for lower-waged people to work in the jobs that don't pay a high rate of pay.
I'd just like to say what the caller is saying. You seem to be focusing on illegal aliens to do this work. I would propose to you that over the history of our country, the initial wave of immigrants have come in, the initial wave of Italian immigrants have come in and they dug ditches, but their sons and granddaughters ended up being mayors and governors and leading citizens in the country. The original wave of the Irish that came over due to the potato famine.
Law enforcement.
Well, yeah, but they aspired to that. Law enforcement and you know,
elected to Congress.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I agree with what you're saying, that the country benefits from wave after wave of immigration. I'm not completely sure I sign on that it needs to be somehow illegal and there needs to be some sort of underground economy to be able to pay these people lower wages.
Well, that's what the contractors and the people who employ them, the businesses, have created this underground economy because they won't put these workers on the payroll and pay all the necessary payroll taxes on them. So that means that if they want to employ a person, say, for $10 an hour, if they put them on the payroll, they got to pay them $15 or sometimes even $20 an hour. But if they're off the payroll, they can pay them $10 an hour, and it's cheap. It's half the price. Do you understand how that works?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I understand.
Do you also aware of the hypocrisy that is going on in this country? Because, to be honest with you, if you hire a contractor to do a job for you, and the contractor is pricing something for you less than $10,000 than his competitor, you have to know that the workers are not getting the amount of money that they should be getting, you know, by the hour. But yet, we welcome that. We hire these people, and knowing that...
Not me, Ivan.
Not you, but America as a whole is doing that. Look, who wouldn't like the cheap labor? Who wouldn't like to pay a contractor $10,000 less? You see, and then you have people talking about we should do something about the illegal immigrants. What do you want? You see, that's the hypocrisy that we need to admit that is going on in this country.
It's like shopping at Walmart and buying things from China.
Right. If we see, for example, you know, we don't like child labor, but yet, you know, we will buy stuff that comes from China. And
made
it's
with
like
child labor.
Made with child labor. So it's like, where do we stand?
The problem is, Ivan, that there's always going to be a class of workers for the low wage. It's just that the contractors or the business owners do not want to raise them up because that cuts into their profits.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, but real quick, did you see what Karl Rove said on immigration? I don't want my son to have to pick tomatoes. So, I mean, it's...
That's stupid.
Yes, and guess what? This is the guy who they consider to be the president of the United States right now.
Ivan, what did you read?
See? Here it is right here. Here it is right here. And then you can go to hotcity.blog, and you will actually see that article.
But what I think he had in mind, Ivan, was that you don't want your son to be picking tomatoes. I don't want my son to be picking tomatoes. Nobody wants to do the low-wage work because our society says upward is better. And that's what I think he was trying to get across, although he said it very awkwardly. But I think that right now we have a whole, we have what, 12 to 20 million people that are at a different class in this country, and that's not good for the country.
Let me just throw in you've framed the discussion very well. Let me throw in a solution, and I won't tell you who is the author of this solution because it will cloud your otherwise reasonable mind in understanding it. But there's a guest worker program that's being proposed by a man originally from Texas who resides in Washington right now that I think has a lot of value, because like the Times article talks about some are advocating that everyone should be let in, and some are advocating that everyone should be thrown out. And I don't think either one of those extremes is going to work. What's being proposed on a federal level is a guest worker program. And a couple elements of the guest worker program is, first of all, if you've been found to be here illegally, you pay a fine, upwards of $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 fine. Then you have to be able to show that you have been paying your taxes. Just because you're illegal doesn't mean that you haven't been paying your taxes. Many of these people will get issued a Social Security number, and they do pay their taxes. And I would like to add to that once you enter this guest worker program, you also have to have proof that you have health insurance as well. And I think that's one way of mainstreaming some of these
I thought you couldn't get a Social Security number unless you were legal and you get something else instead of a Social Security.
Marty,
I don't think you get I don't think you get a Social Security number.
There are right now in immigration courts, when people go into immigration, they show that they have tax returns that they have paid federal, state, and local taxes for the past 7 years.
What kind of morons do they have running the Social Security?
Well, I'm just telling you, they do. I mean, I'm not sure exactly how it works, but they can show proof that they have been paying state and federal taxes.
Well, let me go around the table and ask something here, because I'm really interested in everyone's honest opinion on this. Marty, you support the ICE raids or don't you? Yes or no?
Can you come back to me?
Yes. I have a yes or no. You support the ICE raids.
ICE is looking for people who are not just here illegally, but they have deportation and other charges against them.
Well, let me finish with the panel, please.
Oh, yeah.
Yes or no?
Do I support it?
Yes.
No, I don't. I think they should stop until the country
no.
decides what they're going to do.
You
They
don't.
should
Lynn,
stop.
Lynn, I'm sure you don't support it either.
I certainly do not support the ICE raids.
Okay. Now, then, what would you propose as an alternative, Ivan, to dealing with this situation? If we're not going to have any ICE raids, what would you like to do instead?
You know what?
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Listen. I discussed this before. This is a latent issue, conflict here. It goes back to the United States, going to these foreign countries, okay, stealing their natural resources, making it impossible for them to live peacefully in their own country by supporting dictatorships because they're in line with, with our policy here. That needs to stop. The CIA needs to stop. Okay?
Caller, you're on the air.
Hello, good evening. Ivan, buddy, what are you doing here today? We thought you were going to be the Comcast the representative in the Bahamas covering the funeral, buddy.
Hello, Frank.
Who died?
How are you, Frank?
Hey, you know what, though? I think that baby might be mine.
Where's your twin brother there, Matt?
What?
Ivan's the father.
Frank, I didn't hear what you said.
Where's your twin brother today?
Oh, I don't know. He couldn't make it. He couldn't make it.
Oh, too bad. Our friend from Ridgefield, you want to know how do they do it? How do they accumulate federal Social Security taxes when they're illegal? That's called Social Security fraud. Aren't you aware of that?
No, all I know is that they have tax returns that show that they did pay in to the federal, state, and local taxes.
Well, it's called Social Security card fraud. It's a felony for anyone else, but not them for some reason. Mrs. Habersack, are you in favor of your Democrat friends there that are running Congress now? Are you in favor of them cutting the budget of ICE so they're unable to enforce the laws of our country?
I want to know.
No, yes or no. It could be nice.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes or no?
What would you say? Would you? Let me take a guess. A little leftist that you are, I'm sure you would probably support our Democrat friends cutting ICE's budget so they're unable
I'd like to hear
enforce
what you
the
think
immigration
about
laws.
ICE's
I think we should allow more immigrants in, but they should deport every single one of them, no matter if they're from Central, South America, or Europe, if they came here illegally. They should let 10 more million people in and legally go through the proper channel, hire another 5,000 civil servants to process them faster, and that would help out. But
Frank, let me ask you something. You're a small business owner.
I'm a business owner. I'd be larger if it weren't for Lynn's friends over the last 20 years making this a hostile state to do business in.
No, but anyway, you're a small business owner, and you have other colleagues in the same business. Do any of your colleagues employ any illegal immigrants?
No, they can't, because you have to be a resident of Connecticut, a legal resident of Connecticut, to have an applicator's license. My buddy up there, former Mayor Gumbada Gambino, he has the same state of Connecticut S license to fly. We cannot hire illegal aliens. We cannot. And my other line of work, I'm in the merchant marine industry. You have to have fingerprints. You have to go through a drug test periodically. I cannot hire anyone to operate a vessel.
So you're saying those and your fellow pest control experts cannot hire illegal immigrants even if they want to?
They cannot hire illegal aliens. They cannot, and they cannot. There's several standards in place to keep fraud from happening. There's no way around it. They cannot apply insecticide because you could hurt people if it's applied wrong. It's because it's so dangerous. It's hell. They could access chemicals that could pollute waterways, and they're not allowed.
Destruction?
Yeah.
I mean, good show. I'm going to be phone hog. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you.
Okay.
I haven't.
You know what? I have to apologize. I have to apologize for the prior caller because you hang up on her. So I want her to know that it wasn't my way. No. We allow her to talk, and she has the right to talk.
Okay.
Right. So if you watch the show, I apologize.
The second thing is too. Let's spend about 5 more minutes on that immigration, and you're going to get too emotional. I can see it.
No. Let me tell you something. I don't care what their views are. You know, this is a live show.
We got a lot of other issues to talk about besides immigration.
This is very important because the hypocrisy in this country. Think about it, okay? Think about it. You have America going to these foreign countries, okay? And they are literally stealing the natural resources, okay, bring them up here, process them and sell them as twice as much back to these countries, okay? America wants to spread democracy all over the world. However, they are supporting dictators everywhere unless you are, against their policies. I mean, this is absolutely nonsense.
Can I just challenge you?
And then you have the illegal immigrants coming here, and everybody wants them to go back home when we support.
This is getting too emotional.
Okay. No, it's not. It is true.
You obviously know more about Haiti than I do, but let me tell you a country that I know a little bit about, and that's a country of Belize. Okay. It's a former British Honduras. Okay. It's a very impoverished country in Central America.
Small country.
Very small country. I've been down there 4 times. It happens our church has been involved down there, and so I've had a chance to work down there, work with the people. We build homes and so forth. There's one plant. If you go from the airport to the Belize city, there's one plant. It's the Dickies, Dickies pants.
Wow. Workwear.
Right. Now you might say, wow, that's big American capitalism going down there and exploiting these workers. All I can tell you is that the people are lining up, and those jobs, they are so coveted to get those jobs. They pass them down from one family member to another to get that job in the big American company down there. Now, you might call that exploitation. I'll tell you, the guy on the street that let alone doesn't have shoes, doesn't have food. If he can get a job at that Dickies plant making pants for farmers in America, he's very happy. So I don't completely agree with this exploitation of the planet.
Guess what? Malcolm X also said you can't take a knife and stick it in somebody's back, and then when the person starts complaining, and then you just pull it a little bit, and you say, hey, you know what I'm saying? I ease your pain. You can't do that. Giving somebody $1 a day. $1 a day.
I'd like to explore more of your Malcolm X.
Paul, you're on the air.
The back analogy. I'm trying to